All right, we're driving along here. We are about to hit 200,000 miles on the dot. Can't believe it. Hey guys, welcome back to Sparks and Recreation. In today's video, we're going to talk about a vehicle that's near and dear to my heart. Is it this SRT Durango? Absolutely not. Is it the Hellcat? Nope, we ain't talking about that. What we're going to be talking about is this 2017 Chrysler Pacifica that we bought basically brand new, have paid off for years, and what it took to get it to 200,000 miles. I'm going to tell you from front to back, as we go, every single issue it's had, and what I've had to do to it to get it to that 200,000 mile mark. It seems that most people, when they purchase a vehicle, expect 200,000 miles. That's the new standard. We're over that. So follow me, and I'll tell you exactly what it took to get it there. Alright, so as we drive over to the lot where I'm actually going to show you about it, let's take it for a quick drive and see how it's holding up after 203,000 miles. First off, we do have a tire pressure monitor on. It's been on for about 6 months. No matter what I do, if I put 100 pounds in that, it's still going to go back to 18, 20 pounds within about an hour or so. For whatever reason, it never goes lower than 18 to 20 pounds, but it also will not stay higher than 18 to 20 pounds. Other than that, we also have a check engine light for evap. That's been on for 3 years now. So when it's time to go for inspection here in New York, I clear it, drive it 100 miles, and get it inspected. Those are the only real issues on the dash. But speaking of issues, like, this thing drives so quiet. Like, it's still a good running car. And it still has plenty of power. Sounds pretty healthy. Obviously, it still is a little slower than it initially was because it is pretty well broken in. But overall, this thing, it runs great. And this is our family hauler to hockey. We have lived in this vehicle, man. It has been all over the place. Been cross country a dozen times between going to California, Florida, and then up across the East Coast. It's been to Boston probably 20, 30 times. Anyhow, so I'm gonna get us to the lot. I just wanted to show it driving a little bit and give you an idea of the condition it's still in at this point. Like at 55 miles an hour, let's get it up there. Like, it's quiet. Not much road noise, about the same as it was when we first bought it. Alright, so we made it over to the lot, and this is pretty much how this van has had its life given to it over the past like 6 years. It is constantly our workhorse. It has either a trailer hooked up to it at pretty much all times, a tow dolly. We've towed a Volkswagen Beetle from, well, basically we bought the Beetle in LA. This followed the Beetle from LA to Florida. The Beetle broke, and then we tow dollied a Beetle from Florida with it. I've towed race cars to North Carolina with it on a dolly. So basically, it is not an easy 200,000 miles is what I'm getting at. So we're going to start from the front to the back, and I'm going to tell you everything that's gone wrong and about when. So the very first thing that we see here is these headlights. This is a limited edition, so it's got the HID headlights. One of these ballast died at 100,000 miles. That was a $300 problem to get the ballast and the bulb. So that was the first thing that went wrong with headlights. Next, as we're looking here, we'll do the outside and then I'll do under the hood. Brakes, we do about every 30,000 miles. They do not seem to last very long on this van. Like, we did these rotors, and this is some Mopar stuff too. So I went through and actually bought Mopar rotors and pads for this the first time I changed them, and they still went bad at about 30,000 miles. So since then, we've been using just the basic O'Reilly's. These are actually warped currently. We've never had any issue on the actual brakes themselves other than one caliper. This caliper just went bad at like 190,000. And again, we're in the Northeast where we're getting salt, and also this probably won't happen if you live outside the Northeast, because what had happened is it had gotten a bunch of salt up in it and the piston was no longer, instead of rebuilding it, we just got a new one. Tires. It does have a slight, I think it's because we tow with it so much. The inside of the rear tires wears faster than the outside. I'm the only person I know that owns one of these that has that issue. We do have to change the tires every like 40,000 miles instead of like 60 like they really should go, because as I rotate them, the inside of the tire wears faster. This, we got hit in Key West, Florida. It was in a barbecue restaurant and got smacked. This right here happened at a drive-in movie theater, like literally years ago. So this is an issue. Almost all the Pacificas of this generation, the paint sucks, especially across the leading edge of the hood. That is all chipped and starting to come apart. You see it underneath the paint. This is what it'll look like first, and then it'll start looking like this. A lot of this is from the highway driving we've done. You take rock chips. That issue is actually starting to arise in other places. I'm trying to find where on this thing. I saw bubbling the other day. I don't know where it is exactly right this second, but it is an issue in other spots. This damage down here, see all these scratches? That's from us putting on a tow dolly because we towed this behind our RV. There's an RV over there that we have. I put it on a tow dolly behind it, and this is too wide of a vehicle to fit on a standard tow dolly. We ended up having to buy a bigger one, but we need to go on the trip anyway, and this van's paid off. I don't give a shit. This is every time you turn, it was going into the wheel well and scratching the shit out of it. This is from me 2 winters ago. Got it buried in the yard, trying to turn around in the yard, and there was like a foot of snow. The whole van's front end slid into a tree, caved that in, broke this. This is like 40 bucks. So as you're seeing, some of the stuff that you're seeing here is my own fault. It has nothing to do with the van. This is pushed in because of the same time the tow dolly was hitting there. Anytime I turned to the right, it would hit there. Anytime I turned to the left, it would hit here, which scratched this. So now that is starting to rot. That's great. Alice did this last week. There's still a piece of the, so backing out of the driveway, we have like literally like 5 or 6 cars in the main parking area of the driveway right now. Trying to go around it, she got into a stump, which broke that. Again, issue we caused, nothing to do with the van. The back of the van is all scratched to shit from us putting hockey equipment in and out of it for the last 6 years. My kids play hockey year round. I think that's really all the issues it has on the outside, and like I said, 95% of it is my own fault. So let's talk under the hood, some of the stuff that we've had to do. Man, I really need to clean this thing. So, a couple issues. There's actually a video I made that has like 60,000 views that is a pretty common issue. First, we'll work on this side, work our way over. The alternator down there went bad at 60,000 miles. I actually put a used one in it. This is back when it was fairly new, and the yards only had low mile ones of these, so I had like 80,000 at the time. No, it's like 60,000. Yeah, like 60,000 miles at the time. The one we put in it only had 20,000 miles on it. It's been in it for the last over 100,000. She's doing good. Next, other issues we had was the wheel bearing and went bad on the right front here at about 100,000 miles. All the other bearings in this car are original. I went and I tried to buy a Mopar bearing, but it was not available. I called a junkyard and they said, well, the only way you can get this bearing out is it's actually the whole hub and everything was stuck together. Like, apparently it's a corrosion issue on these things. Luckily I've only ever had to do this one. Anyhow, they sent me the whole hub, CV shaft, and bearing all at one time. So basically the entire knuckle was replaced, and it was like $200 used. And that's been in it for, I want to say that it was around 100,000 miles. So over 100,000 miles on that used bearing and all that stuff, no problem. We do oil change. We do not do the oil changes at the intervals it says on the inside of the car. That's the main thing that keeps these things running. I do my oil changes at 5,000 miles, no matter what that little percentage says. So if it still says I have 80% for some reason, I change it anyway. And I use cheap O'Reilly's oil and the cheapest filter they have. I do nothing special. We have not had to do the oil cooler on this yet. It's oily down there, but I think it's mainly just because of doing oil changes. I do not think the oil cooler is leaking because I don't see anything go down in the level. I've never had to add coolant to it. I've never done a coolant flush. I've never done a brake flush. I've never done a tranny flush. I've never done anything to it that you're supposed to do. Next, all of the coil packs and spark plugs have been done twice. The spark plugs are actually due again. We've been doing them every like 75,000. They're a little over on that. This is for trailer lighting. That's not an actual issue. Battery and backup battery for the auto start. That auto start battery's been done like 5 times. I bought this battery when we made that video about it killing the battery a couple years ago. This has been in ever since, no issues. This is only the second battery I've ever had to put in it. These cars do have an issue where they will draw power and kill your battery, and then the dealer will keep charging you for these accessory batteries and regular batteries. What you need to do is find out where your parasitic draw is by checking all the fuses in this box. Ours ended up being the power door on this side. Inside here, there was actually a broken wire inside that whip right there. So after we got the door fixed, I have never had an issue with any of the electronics when it comes to parasitic draw since then. I've seen in that same video that we made people talking about how it was other issues, but they also had parasitic draw. It is what it is. Parasitic draw is going to be a little different on each car. It does not appear to be the only issue is the power door. Like, it can be any number of things. You'll notice you'll have parasitic draw. If you shut the vehicle off, you wait like 30 seconds and you see this dash come back on, and you haven't opened the door, haven't done anything, that's because it's recognizing signal of power coming through that fuse box, and it's cycling the car over and over and over until it kills your battery. And when your battery's strong, it can handle it as time goes by, and that parasitic draw starts to take a toll. You'll start going through batteries, especially if the draw is pretty significant. Man, this thing's rough inside. But 200,000 miles, and we honestly, this thing's been paid off for years. We really don't give a shit. All the stuff I need is in here. My kids' hockey stuff is in here. Our little Band-Aid kits. We take this on road trip adventures everywhere. There's Mickey ears in here. There's beads from down in Mardi Gras in here still. There's all sorts of crap through this thing. The issues that it has on the inside are, well, it's really an outside issue. The AC has not worked in about 80,000 miles. It's been a nightmare. This takes 1234A, I think is what it's called. It's like the newest Freon. I've put probably 50 pounds of that shit through this by trying to find issues. We found that there was a leak underneath the cladding in here that go to the rear AC. There was a hole in one of the aluminum lines. We replaced it thinking that was the issue with the AC. It lasted for about a day and then was not working again. It had no Freon left or no refrigerant left in the system. Recharged it again after we found an O-ring on the compressor was bad. Replaced that, still no AC. At this point, it holds pressure for like 3 days, and then it all leaks out from somewhere, and I put dye in it. It's not leaking from anywhere that is visible. I would have to tear out the rest of this interior to find where it's leaking. So that's the plan. Actually, the reason I'm driving it to the shop today is I need to do the lawn, and we want to take this to Florida in 2 weeks. So I need to do an oil change because it's due, maybe do the spark plugs because they're due, and try to get this AC working because Florida and this car is so hot. The Connectnect system is a pretty common issue on these. And what I'll show you how to do it is how to fix this. So if your Connectnect on your early Chrysler Pacifica is just frozen and will not connect to your phone, has all these issues, what you need to do is you actually take both these buttons, the volume and the tune, hold it for 30 seconds, and it will do a hard reset and it'll reconnect to your phone. I had a friend that has one of these. He's like, my radio hasn't worked in 6 months. And I'm like, bro, have you tried doing the reset? Do the reset. And he's like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm driving it like that with it just stuck in this like air state. Every time you start it, it does the same thing because it doesn't do a full reset unless you hold it. Never had any issues with any of the electronics in the front. All these buttons and these little USBs are a little intermittent, but they all work. And the Blu-ray reader, this is a limited edition, so it's got the stuff in the back seats, which is an issue. Stuff in the back seats here. This one has the screens. Like when we bought this, I paid like all the money for it. Like this is pretty much the nicest one you could get at the time. This screen works. Oh wow, this one is actually working. But a lot of times when we're actually on the road, this screen has not worked since about 100,000 miles. Like, you'll be going on a road trip and they're both working for a minute, you hit a bump, this one stops working. All of the electronics on the back of this, on each seat, have been broken since about a day after it was out of warranty. Literally, what the one on this side is probably our own fault, because we had a friend using it the very first road trip we ever took. It was like brand new. We had a wire up in it. He was charging his phone, got it caught on his foot, and it like ripped this whole thing out of the back instead of pulling it out somehow. We brought it to the dealer, they said it was fine, and then ever since then it's never really been right, and it went to the dealer multiple times when it was under warranty trying to fix it. Never accomplished anything. And really, that's the only issues it has had, which, I mean, I guess that sounds like a lot, but 200,000 miles is a lot of driving, and most of what we've done is basic maintenance. I have not done anything that really took a lot of time to do. All this stuff is pretty simple. I'm going to show you the idle hours versus run hours. This car does a lot of idling. Again, change your oil. You want these things to last? Change your oil. Alright, so again, that low tire pressure like always. Coolant's good, trans temp is good. Oh, here we go. Idle hours, 1,141. Total hours, 5,302. 203,675 miles. Holy cow. What a unit. So, do I think it'll go at 300? Absolutely. This car drives the same as it did, honestly, as when I bought the thing. Just a slightly less power. She's getting a little tired, but that's because we tow with it and beat the crap out of it. So that's what it's going to take, guys. You buy one of these, got low miles, and they're pretty much the same even today. Like a new Chrysler Pacifica uses pretty much the same transmission, same motor today. So I don't see a problem with these cars. In comments of other videos we've made about it and on the internet, these things are hated. I don't know, change your oil? I don't really understand what the hate is, because this has been a maintenance-free vehicle other than routine crap. It has had, so I guess one thing, everybody complains that the transmissions go bad. Well, I think you're just a crybaby and have never driven a junk car, because this thing is hard shifted between second and third, and flare shifted from third to fourth randomly, like up hills, since I bought it. And it is not, yes, it will, like every once in a while you get a huge clunk and it rattles the whole car. It'll shake the whole car. It just keeps going. Even towing a 5,000 pounds behind it does that hard shift. It's never broke. I took it to the dealer when it was new. They said they needed to do a reflash. Then a recall came out saying that it needed to be reflashed. Still does it, has always done it, and it's not an issue. So if you get that feeling and you're driving it and you're like, oh my God, this thing's junk, I need to trade it in, I wouldn't. I'd just keep driving it, because you can get, there's so many of these in the junkyard, you can get a used tranny for like 500 bucks. So that's what I'm thinking. I hope you enjoyed the video. That's my experience of 200,000 miles, and we'll catch you in the next one, guys.